conversation with the Biz Chicks. I'm here with my co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So let's hydrate and get ready to have some epic conversations this morning. How you doing, Fran?
I'm well. Good
Good.
morning to everybody. Thank you all who are tuning in live and on the replay. I am going to make sure that this gets shared out everywhere that it's supposed to. We got people coming in from not Instagram. That's going to be next, I think.
Oh,
Instagram Live. Um,
love it.
um, Coming from YouTube
YouTube.
or wherever we are.
Facebook.
Right.
So
So
meanwhile,
thank
I'm going
you
to
so
pull up
much.
my Facebook and try to make sure that my phone is on silent, guys.
Yes, we have Anna Runsville and Brenna Garcia. Hey,
Hey, ladies, how you doing?
she said she got a life water and a cappuccino. See,
Cool.
there you go.
I love it.
And I'm gonna share this to the Biz Chicks group. Make sure it gets over there. Share there. Tech Divas group. Okay, so I've shared it all. We're gonna have a fun conversation today.
I love it. I love it.
Quieting or quiet the messy mind.
Okay.
And this all came about because every Monday we do a call, and our calls are really poignant. I like big
Mm,
words. And so today's call was all about, last week we talked about have you did your projections, and did you write your or did you write up what you were going to be doing in this week, next month, next quarter, next year? Did you write what those were going to be?
okay.
And a lot of times people were quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was real quiet, and there was nobody answered. I was like,
Hey, Alfredo.
hey. And so everybody was real quiet. There was
Mm-hmm.
no answer to that question for the projections. And I was thinking, well, what could be wrong?
Mm,
And then it occurred to me, we probably didn't do it because we got so many things going on
mm,
that didn't clear part of the schedule for us to do the projections, to
uh-huh.
try and get it done. And because, okay, wait, I got to stop and I got to figure out, I got to sit down to do my financials. I got to sit down to do my projections. I got to sit down to do the things that I want to do, but I haven't done it. I haven't. Well, why didn't we do it? Because the mind is not quiet. We try and find, we always talk about get somewhere and sit down, which is
Yes.
find a quiet place to sit down so that you can do these projections, so that you can write out your vision, that you can do all of that. And we are not doing it. Why are we not doing it? Why didn't we do it? Well, because our minds are really not quiet enough to know. We are not quiet enough to hear how to do it. We're not sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, we're trying to focus, but you can't focus when you got jets and planes and helicopters flying
Yes.
all over the place. You can't focus. That's the reason why we don't do our projections. That's the reason uh, we don't do our projections. We don't do the things that we really need to do because
Mm-hmm.
we don't have our mind quiet.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in the course of our conversation, we a lot of people turn TVs on when you're
Yes.
trying to quiet their minds, but they turn TVs on, they turn music on, they do a lot of stuff, and they got a lot of outside noise trying to quiet the noise that's going on in their minds
Mm.
instead of trying to figure out what all that noise is going on in the mind.
Okay.
And then
Hey
dealing with,
Q, how you doing?
instead of dealing with all of the mind, the noise that's going on in the mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Monique. So, how do we quiet? Well, let's just talk about some ways that that the mind is not quiet. It
Mm-hmm.
shows up. And
Okay.
okay, we haven't done our projections for October.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why
Hey
haven't we?
Pat. Mm-hmm.
How come we didn't do the projections for October?
Anybody want to wade in here?
Because there was, the conversation was really interesting because we thinking we're doing all this stuff, but we're not quiet enough to write down stuff. Our minds are really messy, but we're
Mm.
trying to do focused work. We're trying to, like the example this morning was, okay, I got to go find that screwdriver. I know I got a screwdriver somewhere in this house. There's a screwdriver somewhere. Let me look under here. Let me look over here. But the screwdriver was not in its place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was you that brought it out this morning. It's not in its place because you can't even remember to go look for it. It may be in its place, but you couldn't even remember to go look
Where
for
you put it? What place you assigned it to? Because you got all this other clutter in your mind.
it. And I like this comment by Monique because this is why we're talking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I utilize these digital tools when I think or remember something so that it doesn't take up space in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anna says, because it's work, we don't always want to be in work mode. True. And then Anna,
Brenda
Anna says,
says.
I'm running a household of 5.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one thing that came across during the conversation as well. A lot of times we got a lot of this stuff going on and we say write it down. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going off of what you Monique just mentioned.
Yes.
Writing it down in the planner will help get it done.
Mm.
And Monique says, I mean, by everything, I mean everything, big or small, it goes in my digital tools.
Mm.
Because if you don't take time to write it down, then you're going through your mind trying to find something when it's already down there in your digital tools or in your notebook.
Yeah. In your what do you call that thing? Your planner or your calendar or wherever it is that you keep things. Now the question is, so now let's say you can't find the key to something. What do you do with that kind of information? Because I don't know if that really goes in a planner. You know what I mean?
Well, where are the keys supposed to be kept?
Well, that's what I mean by you assign a space to them, but then your mind is so cluttered you can't remember what space you assigned the keys to.
Mhm. But if you wrote it down and went
Okay.
back to the place where you wrote it down, but
Oh,
if you don't remember where you wrote it down, that's going to be a problem too.
exactly. So maybe if you label, like for instance, if you're putting your keys in a box or in a specific place, like a, I don't know, a pegboard or whatever, if you label things, it might be easier. Oh, all the keys. Oh, here are the keys. Because I'm passing by and I say, oh, that's the key box. Maybe I stuck it in there.
Oh, you think? Because it's a key.
Mm-hmm.
Monique says, but it has to be in one place or you will forget to turn the page or go to another notebook. And you're absolutely right. It needs to be in one place. That's why we created this notebook and where you can just jot down anything. And it's just in one place. And it's for Biz Chicks only. It's not for Biz Chicks and in my Bible study notes and my such and such. It's for one thing. I think there should be a workshop on how to use how to categorize and put things in place. So Monique says chefs have a phrase, mise
I
en
like
place,
it.
everything in its place. If you create these good habits to have a place for everything, you won't have to search for everyday things.
I love it. Not having to search for everyday things.
Right. And a lot of people say, well, I keep a list and I have it all up here. No, you don't.
Until something else goes up there, right? And pushes it out.
Because there's so much, it's like a hoarder's house. There's so much stuff up there that you can't add one more piece of paper to this mix.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, not one more item can go in there.
Mm. Monique has an interesting comment here. Keep your mind on people.
Keep your mind on people and things that matter.
So that way, if you are organized, you have space to deal with the details of life that really matter. Is that what I hear you saying, Monique?
I think that is what, and Brenna says, my daughter's feeding, breaks, and meds schedule is her autopilot. You're
Mm.
absolutely right. Your schedule will keep you on autopilot so that you won't forget to do something. We want the pilots flying the plane to do their checklist every day.
Ooh, please.
And Q says, as a business coach, I can literally look at people and know when their minds are on overload.
Wow.
And
Mm.
that's why this conversation is happening today, because hey Jay, it's because we put out, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's get your projections for October and let's talk about it. And
Mm-hmm.
no projections got done because everybody's on overload trying to put in one more thing. Oh, that's one more thing I have to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Brenna says I'm organized because I'm too lazy to look for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Monique said you and me both. And it is true, because if it's already if you got it organized, then you don't have to try and go find it, and then you're not using brain power to go do that. The energy is not used for that. Your time, you have a lot more time to do something else instead of search for that thing that you don't know
Yes.
where you put it because it never had a place to be put.
I think the problem is that people don't want to take the time to do planning and organization. They think it's a waste of time. But when you add up all the minutes that you lose over the course of the year, it more than pays for the time that you spend getting your things organized.
Yes. And all of this is part of my conversation is because I have a lot of bags. Now some people have shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I have bags. I like bags for my computers for me to go, and I like my bags to match my clothes. Just it's just the way I am. So shoes, and
Mm-hmm.
sense of style. So I have a lot of bags, and they were taking over my closet. I was like, okay, I need to be able to hang these so I can see them when I'm getting ready to uh, put on a particular outfit, and I can find a bag for that outfit. I needed to have my essentials in a bag that's going to go inside the bag that I'm
Mm-hmm.
wearing.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I needed to do that. And now I found a rack and I hung all my bags up in my office because that's where I switch out stuff. Need to make
Mm-hmm.
sure I got my computer, I got my makeup bag, I got my gear bag that has all the wires for everything I need. And I put them in whatever bag I happen to be. I know I got three main smaller bags like this,
Mm-hmm.
and my little gear bag.
Mm-hmm.
Brenna's going to be happy. I have my my travel bag for my Norway.
Nomads.
But I have these 3 bags that I carry, and they move from purse to purse. I'm not wondering where my stuff is.
Or do you have the essential stuff as you switch out bags?
Right. And that's just purses. But for me, it made my life so much easier. I know that if I'm in a hurry, I can still pick up a bag and put my essentials in and hit the door. I know where the
Yes.
keys are. They're hanging right here. Let's go. And if they're not there, uh-oh, they should be in an outside pocket on one of them bags.
Mm-hmm.
Phone, keys, outside pocket. So I'm with Monique. You have to put stuff where they're supposed to be. Pat says, I spent most of yesterday completely redoing my bedroom closet. I feel very relaxed today. Doesn't it
Go,
feel good?
go, Pat.
Monique says, some people make fun of me for being too much in control, but it's all about efficiency and effectiveness. Time
Oh,
is so valuable, so why would I do things that waste it? Not today.
not today. Well done.
Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
Jay is asking, did I download iOS 13? Jay, that is a Friday topic, but I will answer that. I loaded down iOS 13 a few weeks ago because I run their beta. I
Mm-hmm.
was running the beta for iOS 13. I love it. So, yes, I did. Um, and and Alfredo, you said you're looking at Mac OS and Mojave and Xcode. Okay, not sure. Are you running a PC still, Alfredo? Because that's what you were running before. So I don't know if you switched over. But today is talking about clearing up a messy mind
Yes. Yes.
and making it easy for you to do whatever it is that you need to do without so much stress and pressure. And
And having a plan for when things are compressed. And because I need a plan for that now that things are getting more and more compressed in my life. And what I mean by that is sometimes people downsize so they're in a smaller space. Sometimes if you're like me, you may have boomerang children who have come back, and now all of a sudden you have to clear a space after you were spread out and organized. And so now you need to stop and reorganize and have a plan for if they decide to bring additional things. It's like, no, you need
so
to get a
let's ask,
plan for
so
that.
let's look at that. Do they have to come back?
Not necessarily.
And see, that's what things we need to consider, because a lot of time we are bringing in
We
stuff
are
from other people,
accepting. We are
accepting. We are accepting other people's lives or whatever their stuff was, and they're bringing it over to your house. Like I
mm,
have belongings that belong to somebody else in my garage, and I'm like, okay, wait, I can't utilize my space the way I
because
want.
you're storing somebody else's stuff.
So, what stuff of somebody else's are you storing in your mind?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are thoughts that don't belong to you, but they're stored in your mind, preventing you from doing what you want to do, and you're storing them in your mind, and you're not doing what you want, going where you want to go because of somebody else's thoughts that hitchhiked or dropped off at your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, are anybody want to weigh in? Are we picking up baggage from other people, and how do you get out? Okay, so we talked about challenges with it, and Q gave us some great information on using our digital tools
Tools. Uh-huh.
to help us with that. But how do you deal with the mental clutter from other people? How do you get rid of that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Other people's baggage that's in your garage, in your mental garage. Anybody got an idea?
Well, I'm thinking those people need to rent a different storage space. Or You know what I'm saying?
Now
You
that's a
take
good
that
point.
somewhere else,
That's a
literally.
good point. The storage companies charge you
Mm-hmm.
for bringing that stuff. At least they get paid.
Truism.
And Jay says, I don't go there with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monique says, let me go over here. First, you have to take the emotion out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think like a therapist and remove yourself. Because if you do get emotionally involved in it,
Mm-hmm.
in somebody else's stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a cool thing. You don't feel good. You're
And it
feeling like,
takes up a
oh,
lot of mental capital.
right. Anna says, yes, the kids' room's shifting. The middle child needs a guest room set up. So the guest room is also going to be my hubby's office. Youngest room has to get revamped also. So many things.
Yeah.
And then I would, is there a time where, well, here we go back to this, where we need to stop and think, do I need everything that I have right now? Meaning that should I be doing that one extra thing?
Mm-hmm.
Should it be on my plate?
Mm-hmm.
Should I be the one doing it? Because remember on Hoarders and shows like it where they try and help people clear the clutter and that type of thing, they
Mm-hmm.
tell you you have a pile to give away, you have a pile to keep, and a pile that goes into the trash.
Yes.
Now, knowing which one of them things should be happening with that stuff, do I need to keep this
Mm-hmm.
assignment? Am I doing something that I should be doing, or should somebody else be doing this, or should it not be getting done at all? And Jay has a comment here. Jay
Yes.
said, I don't have time to deal with other people's stuff. I have enough of my own stuff to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's clutter and you're going to, maybe that's why on Hoarders, it's not just a simple, let's just get it out the house,
Process.
because people are attached to it. And like Monique said, you need to get the emotion out of it first. You have to detach the emotion before you can toss the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people go back into,
Hurting.
oh my God, I don't know what it is. Okay, it's a cracker box, but it meant something to them.
We used it on the kids' first picnic, or you know what I mean?
Or the baby teeth, or there's the
Oh
shoes
my
that they
gosh.
bought.
I really do not want to leave that kind of legacy for my children to have to clean out my house. Having had to clean out my mother's house, I mean, I found things there like my first grade report card. I mean, really? Now she cherished that. It doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not bringing it from Pennsylvania to California. Okay. And I mean, the stuff was deep. So I'm trying to make sure that I do enough purging where my children, all they have to do is just come in and figure out what to do with the furniture.
And we are emotionally attached to things. And Anna says, I'm the only one in the family with any decorating urges at all, so it falls to me. But you picked up that mantle. And Brenna says, I'm the oldest. My youngest siblings are having challenges in life.
Uh,
My aunt became that which she despises. She told me I need to care for my family, brother and sister. Nobody helped me with my daughter. That's mind clutter.
mm,
Yeah, that is mind clutter when somebody else tells you it's your responsibility to take care of these other grown people. Shut up, friend.
well, my thing is, if it's on her aunt's heart, maybe her aunt should take it on.
Her aunt's not going to take it on. That's why she's
Well,
telling
then,
Brenna.
well, then, I'm not available for that assignment.
And but that's now, but you now have to build up your mental uh, capacity to be able to tell people no, that are have some type of authority in your life, right?
Or some kind
You
of
have
emotional
to,
attachment to you.
right. You have to be strong enough to say no. Like Jason, Jay says, I don't go there with other people.
Hmm.
And in order to say no and protect your sanity, you're going to have to do what Monique says, which is take the emotion out of it. You, no, sorry, Aunt Sally, I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
Because you're the oldest, you are expected to take care of the rest of the kids. That's not fair to put on other children.
And I don't think that the other children should put that on their siblings. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, I don't call up my brother and say, you know what, brother, I'm the youngest. You need to handle me. He'd be like, I don't think so.
Nope. But we see it all the time. Expectations of others make your mind messy.
Hmm.
Just, other people's expectations. And then you're like, wait a minute, I didn't think I signed up for that. But you should do that. I remember we were working on a project. This is business related. We were working on a project, and this person came in, we should have a festival. We should do this. And they just started, we can do this and we can do that, and it'll be great for the community and da da da
And
da
we
da.
never seen this person before.
And why don't you guys do that? And we're like, wait a minute.
Giving us an assignment.
And brought in all of this stuff, and everybody's like, yeah, that's great. My first thing was, okay, who's gonna do this, who's gonna do this, and who's doing this, and who's doing that. And I'm like, and the next week, did those people show up?
Crickets. And
Because
that
no.
person never came back. Never came back to follow up. They were
And
just
see,
going to drop it in our lap and keep rolling.
that's called a dump and run. That's what there are people who are coming and they dump and run. They dump stuff on you and then run. And then you're stuck with, why am I looking at this stuff? Why is this stuff in my garage? Or why is this stuff? Why do I have this stuff? Because they dumped it and ran. I remember when this person said, oh, I have these things that were collected from kind of like a Goodwill type of thing. I thought maybe you could use some of the stuff here. And why did I say, sure, let me take a. Now my standard answer is no. Because now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this stuff. And then I'm getting resentful because I'm looking at all this crap in my garage.
Exactly. My thing too is like when I clean out my closets, I was trying to donate stuff and I realized I was not making it to the donation place. I need to just take it from my closet to the trash because otherwise it just sits there. Oh, someday it's going to get there. Someday you're going to drop it off. I can remember riding around with it in my car for weeks because my schedule, it was just not on the schedule to do that. Or their schedule was not conducive with my schedule when I tried to do it. It's just, if you can't make it happen, people just get rid of it. Change the category.
Have a couple of comments here. Jay says it's okay to let people know how you feel, or you'll regret it for not speaking up. That is
Resentment.
true. Jill is joining us from the breathing space. Hey, Jill. And Monique says we have to realize that the collection of stuff is a lifestyle. It's something we can mentally inherit and need to mentally work through before we can actually get rid of it all.
You know what? We've had this conversation before that many of us were raised by grandparents who lived through the Depression and through a time when things were not mass produced. So everything was saved, everything was leveraged into something else. But now things are so so easily acquired and mass produced and changed out. Oh, I don't like the color of these dishes. I'm just gonna go by Target and get something to, you know what I'm saying, or Macy's or
Right.
wherever. Uh, so that if we bring that mentality from what would you call it, a space of scarcity and lack,
Hmm.
then we begin to hoard things in our mind, in our space, in our,
And Jill is with us from the breathing space, and um, she helps people who have a lot of anxiety attacks
mm-hmm,
and that type of thing, which can be because you feel like the world is closing, and oh my God, it's too much information coming at you at one time, but it's coming from the inside, not necessarily coming from the outside.
mm-hmm. And this thing of caring for other people comes from a time when there were no other resources or methods for getting it done. Now you have adult daycare, you have in-home care, you have care homes. There's just a lot of support that people
You
didn't
have
have
help.
before. Yes, because I can remember my great grandmother being in the living room of my grandmother's home in a hospital bed. And then, everybody came through and just sort of took care of her. But that was the 50s. Hopefully, we haven't evolved over the last 50 years, going on 60 years.
Yep. Brenna says donations, if you own your homes, are a tax deduction up to $5,000. I include gas to haul in my total. See, but now that goes back to having to write it down and track it. But if your mind is messy, it is hard for you to get all this stuff tracked. That is why I'm telling you, I'm talking about me. Tracking finances and stuff was a problem because there was so much going on up in my head
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not taking the time. No wonder I'm not making my 5 phone calls every day to my clients. Okay, hold on. I need to calm this mind down. Let me see what do I really need to be doing.
Look at Jill. Jill's got solutions.
Jill says, yes, inside noise and chaos comes out in your lifestyle. Clutter distracts you from your own needs.
It really does. I mean, I'm just thinking about all the different spaces in my life. I'm thinking about my car. I could not get to the inside of that car to the level that I wanted it to be because there were always people getting in it. I said, "Whoa,
Why are you riding in my car?
why do I have a car seat, a baby car seat in my car? My children
And,
are in
and,
their
and,
40s.
and
Okay.
when you think like that, you sometimes think people are thinking, wow, she don't like her grandkids, or you have that whole tug of war going on in your head, like,
Yeah.
not doing all of that. A lot of people did stuff out of obligation.
Mm-hmm.
And let me put Anna's comment up.
Okay. Here you go. Both my grandparents.
She says, both my grandparents lived through the Great Depression. I do steward our useful things carefully, yet living in an 1890 house with no closet, no garage, no useful attic teaches you to be ruthless in thinning stuff out.
Well done, Anna. Woo.
And yeah, because there's a lot of stuff we really don't need. We invent ways to
Mm-hmm.
clutter, and we confuse our own selves.
We really, really do.
Like, oh my gosh, here we got what?
Oh my gosh.
And so sometimes you just have to sit. Maybe you have a declutter day. I was talking with Brenna about this today because she has the products for cleaning your home,
Mm-hmm.
toxin free, right? And
Yes.
so I bought some. I'm like, okay, I need to use these products. But before you can clean a house, you have to declutter a house.
You have to have room to move the vacuum cleaner around.
And I told her, I said, I need a housekeeping plan.
Mm,
I need a plan. So I went online and I found something, but I needed to tweak it for me.
mm-hmm.
Okay. On this day, I'll do this. On this day, I do this. On this day, I'll do this. And then quarterly, I'll do these things like have the roof cleaned or have the gutters cleaned or some other stuff, but
Or the
have a
filters changed in the furnace. Yeah, all of that
right,
stuff.
but have something that I can go back to so that it helps keep me, it helps
A
like
checklist.
a checklist, kind of like a checklist. But Monique said this, or Q said this earlier. She said having a reminder.
Mm,
The
mm-hmm.
reminders, the reminder app on the phone or somewhere that'll remind you, okay, today is Tuesday, laundry day, or today is Monday. We're doing this day, where it is a consistent thing that happens all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
if plan to declutter every quarter, or Brenna, tell us what you told me. I think she has a bin where she can declutter every week. So if
Oh, I
you go
love it.
for the kids or whatever in their room or in the garage or something, she has a bin that collects all the clothes, and so that the clothes are just not piling up
Piling up.
someplace. Okay, and let's see. Brenna says I have an important tax file, a file for all her taxes. Anna says I have a fireproof box for our important papers only.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're not looking for the insurance policies and some other stuff. Okay.
The HOA agreement.
Brenna says, Q says I use the app AnyDo, lots of tags, categories, folders, and reminders.
Nice.
Right.
I'm
And
about
then
to
Brenna
check that
said
out. Cool.
the donation bin in the garage and in the laundry room.
Oh,
So when you're doing the laundry, oh, Billy has outgrown these. You fold them up, put them in the bin. You're not having them in the room with clothes growing. The clothes monster is growing.
I love the clothes box.
And Anna says we have a running VOA pile
They
that
stuff
we
in.
place stuff in as it occurs. What's a VOA?
Volunteer of America.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
It's
They send. They're the ones that send around that little green bag, friend, that you get every once in a while tied to your
look,
doorknob.
I got 3 or 4 people who send it back.
Oh,
We
okay.
have veterans send one, somebody else sends one, and
The
somebody we
food
got
bank
three
sends one.
people.
Yeah.
We got three, a purple bag, green bag, blue bag, something, but they send them around.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that idea so that they're ready to go, and you're not having to now I have to stop and go collect the clothes to put in the bag. Oh, I
I
missed
do.
them.
I like that process. It's like,
Right,
oh, this ratty T-shirt needs to go away. Now that's a trash thing.
right,
Because I don't want to give away anything that's not useful to people.
right. Just to get rid of it,
Yeah, I just
you find a way to give them things that are usable. And
exactly.
take advantage of, like here in Sacramento, we have something we can call 311, and twice a year they will come and pick up like washing machines and just stuff that you were trying to get rid of. And it is curbside service. You put it out on the curb and they'll come and pick it up. You get to
Mm-hmm.
do that twice a year. They're not coming. You just can't sit it out any old day and they just come.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea. But I liked Brenna's idea. And then I would love to have a trash can at the mailbox
For real.
so I can just throw the stuff in the trash at the mailbox. Of course, that doesn't work for your sensitive stuff. You need to shred that. Um, and today is my declutter day on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I have all of my outdated files that have passed their real estate requires that you keep files for 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So they are well past 3 or 4 years. I
Okay.
pack them in a and I take them to an industrial shred place,
Confidential destruct. Mm-hmm.
right? Take them there and get rid of them, and I because I can't put them in the recycle bin at the house. Just can't do
Which is
that.
another reason why you want to make sure you have a credible realtor. People putting your stuff in their trash, okay?
Like, what is this? No,
Well,
you
tore
need to
it in
take.
half.
Um, Q says people get emotional about things and clothes, so this bag idea is great. Out of sight, out of mind. Right,
Mm-hmm.
right near the bin. Stuff they ain't worn. Then they see it. Oh, I was saying that. Really?
And I think our library collects prom dresses, and I think they start around February because they give away prom dresses to young ladies who can't afford them. So,
And how often are you gonna wear a prom dress?
I kept those prom dresses from those girls, I think a good, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I was so glad when they started that thing because they had classic dresses. They were I was able to donate them, but they had dresses from college. Every time you turn around, there's a dance. There's a there's a homecoming. There's a something something. So, those dresses when you have two girls begin to accumulate. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of
I
asking y'all to take these home.
I think they should have, and there was a place here in the Sacramento area where you can rent after 5 gowns.
Mm-hmm.
Men should purchase uh, tuxedos because they're going to use them again. But
Mm-hmm.
women should be able to rent ball gowns because we only gonna wear some once.
It's one and done, girl.
I think there should be more rental, all
Allison, did you
gown
need him
rental.
to dance?
Thank you, Alfredo. Um, and Anna says we have a shredder also and a roller ID eliminator.
Eliminator. Just
Just
roll it
roll
over there.
the
Oh,
address and it. Nice,
that's
right?
interesting. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, because yeah. And then Brenda says, I just purged the cabinet, got rid of tablecloths, Christmas and other table runners and placemats. A box full is going to donation.
Well done, Brenna. Well done.
Because you're keeping stuff like, okay, with Thanksgiving,
Say
I
what?
remember it was a full on escapade. You put out the tablecloth and
Oh,
you and wait, the tablecloth is hand stitched. My grandmother hand stitched it, so I'm keeping the tablecloth.
uh-huh.
May not ever see the table. I might use it for something else, but it was a hand stitched tablecloth. Then we had dishes that we never used unless it was Thanksgiving. There was silver that we never used unless
Unless,
it was Thanksgiving or Christmas.
yes.
And then you were waiting and hungry while they bringing all this stuff out, and you had to polish the silver. We're sitting up there polishing silver and stuff. I was like, okay, wait a minute, whose
Idea.
story and idea were we really participating in? This is
Hmm.
what the people do because my grandmother was a domestic. So is this what the people did as, the people she worked for? She saw the silver,
Was this a symbol of prosperity? Do you understand what I'm saying? Was this a
right?
carryover from the Gilded Age? I think Downton Abbey came out in the theater this weekend. Is this a whole attempt to emulate prosperity, like you talk about the lawns?
Right. The whole reason why everybody has a lawn is because that's what rich people have. So I got to have a lawn too. And
And
now
I'm
you got to.
thinking concrete and a driveway. That's what I'm thinking.
So
Seriously.
why are we wanting the things that we have? Is the question. Do we
Mm.
really want it? There are people who get wealthy and they want to go buy a yacht. They can't swim, get seasick, but they want to buy
Yes,
it.
they don't even like the water. Don't like the beach. Some people like the beach. I'm not a beach person. That tide comes in, I get, I don't want to fall asleep on this beach.
So why are you really doing what you do? And I'm with Brenna. Okay, do I need to have all this stuff?
Hmm.
Now, if
It's
you got silver, I'm telling you, use the silver every day. Eat with it. Enjoy it. Don't have
exactly.
it sit up in the cabinet somewhere.
And do you need in this day and age a full set of china? People don't have tea parties anymore. People don't serve tea. People don't have dinners for 18. You used to have all that stuff because people, when people came to visit, they usually stayed for a long period of time, and it was usually around the holidays. My grandmother had 18 brothers and sisters. So, at least seven of them would come from different parts of the country for for Christmas. Kids sleeping on the floor, the whole 9 yards. It was just family. But we don't travel like that. That's what airplanes are for. Get on the airplane.
And you're secretly thinking, I wish they go home. So,
Okay. Or, there's an
um,
Airbnb down the street. Things
and
really have
Alfred,
changed.
right. Alfredo said I rented my tux for the wedding, but the company that I rented the tux closed, so I got a free tux. Not sure if it still fits though. Anna says I actually had two fancy dresses in high school I kept for years, and I actually wore both in layers for a dressy occasion.
Okay, well, that makes sense because they were classic pieces.
Right. And the classic pieces, you keep those because you can move things around.
Yeah,
Alfredo says I have a lawn, but it's located at church.
I love it. Go enjoy
And
their
Brenda
lawn.
says lawns are from England. The climate is ideal. They are not suitable here. Thank you, Brenna, because in the UK it rains all the time.
That's true.
And
And
that
then,
is why, okay, this is just a little side note. In California, we are on water restriction. We can only water once a week now because we need the water to like put out fires. And
sustain life.
yeah, so they don't want us just like willy-nilly just watering stuff. And that is a
Hmm.
good point that the lawns in England, the climate is what?
Not to mention it by the sea, they got fog. They got all kind of good stuff going on. They help with the moisture situation.
Yes, and not us though. Anna
Hmm.
said, laugh out loud. I have my grandma's china and we use them regularly. I have
Yes.
the silver gifted to me that we use regularly.
See,
Use the good stuff. I use
you
the silver because I like how shiny it is and the
and
weight
the
of it.
weight of it. Yes, yes, and
It's,
we are the best company we'll ever have.
yes. Terry said that again.
We are the best company we will ever have.
Right,
Celebrate yourself.
right. Alfredo says, so we can partial China. Yeah. If you got half China, yeah, come on. And then Brenna says
It's
silver
yes.
is naturally antimicrobial through okay, don't know what that word is, but okay, oh, okay, dynamic process. Three other metals do that too.
In other words, it
It's
was
good.
used because it kept down germs. You know,
Right,
before we got all this ability to sanitize stuff.
right. And maybe that's why they had silver in the first place.
Exactly.
Okay. So Anna says, in upstate New York, we do have plenty of precipitation. Lawn is easy. See, and your Western New York State has so much rain.
Mm.
I do fit in my junior high school blue T-shirt that's labeled Jazz Worship circa 1991. Okay, you don't know if you can get in the tux though.
Okay. Can't put his stuff in the microwave.
I'm not sure what that
I'm
means.
not. Oh, to sterilize it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't put this stuff in the microwave. No. So yeah. Use the silver. If you got silver, use it.
Mhm.
I like silver too because it is a lot heavier
It
than
is. It
the
is.
the stuff that you know, the silverware that you get now is not even
Can you?
not the flatware. I'm gonna call it flatware because it's not silverware.
Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't have any kind of weight hardly. It's so light. Hmm.
No, but today we've been talking about quieting the messy mind. How do we quiet that mind? You're gonna have to make some decisions about the stuff. Yes,
Oh,
Brenna, you are correct. You can't put this stuff in the microwave. You can't put China in a
a
microwave.
lot of
No.
time the china has metal painted on
Yes,
it,
and
like
that will cause a
silver.
problem.
Mhm. That's
Well,
an issue.
and if you're going for the healthy lifestyle, do you want to be microwaving anyway? Just saying, okay. I know it's a convenience for people, but just saying,
Pray
have
over
some
it, people. Oh my goodness.
food, and there's all kind of things. Um, but we're talking about clearing out the messy mind, and because you can't do business with a cluttered mind. You can't do business well. Let's put it that way.
There you
You
go.
won't do business well with a cluttered mind. You're not focused, or we're not focused if we are clogged up with a lot of stuff. So the encouragement is, let's quiet our messy mind, take some of the tips that we heard from Q and Alfredo and Brenna and Anna. Let's use them, and also Jill's tips. Let's use those tips. I'm going to use a few, like put a re,
I'm gonna look at this app that
yeah, that
Q,
Q talked about.
Q suggested. Any do, I think is any dot do.
And yeah,
Okay.
there's an app for that.
Okay.
And
This.
then Anna talked about the ID roller and a shredder.
Hmm.
My documents are too big for a shredder, but that's okay. Um, Brenna talked about doing a donation bin in the garage and in the
I
laundry room,
really like that.
right? And Q was talking about using the app AnyDo. So there's some things that you can do to help clear the cluttered mind. And put it in the chat, or if you come up with some other things, post them over there, because we really want to know what to do
To move
to
the
be
clutter out.
to be more productive, make room
Mm.
for success, make room for prosperity. You feel better when you got a little elbow room where you can move. Your computer feels better when it's not all clogged up and it's trying to move and it's like, okay, I have no more space.
For real, for real.
All right. Thank you for sitting in with us for coffee, thoughts, conversations, coffee, tea, thoughts, conversations, uh, quieting the messy mind today. Appreciate all of you joining us live and on the replay. Looking forward to tomorrow with TJ. She's going to be here talking to us about social media and digital marketing. Q, so good to have you in the house.
Really, really, really. We missed you, girl.
Been missing you. And Alfredo, been missing you too. Glad you're back.
And we're so glad to have you this morning.
Yes, and Anna.
And breathing. Jill, thanks.
Yes.
Because we needed to relax for this subject. Brenna's here. And we just really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. And Alfredo says, what tip did I provide today? I was trying to be like Carlos Phoenix, provide value in the comments. Thank you. Yes, you did. Um, and Anna says that she was a great tip, great show. Thank you, Anna. Got to go prep for my mastermind. I'm a moderator for it. Thank you.
Oh, great. Much
Great.
success, Anna.
Yes. We will see everybody later on. Jill, thank you, thank you, thank you,
We'll
thank
talk.
you.
Yes. We will talk to you all tomorrow. And in the meantime, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. We love you guys. See you later, friend. Bye bye, everybody.